The Wonderful Adventures of Thomas the Tank Engine, Episode 22, Billy's Toothache. On the island of Sodor, there are two very cheeky and silly tank engines named Billy and Charlie. Billy and Charlie often enjoy playing jokes and being silly to the other engines. Though this sometimes drives the engines crazy, Billy and Charlie are still really useful, at least when they want to be. One day, Fearless Freddy was pulling the Chinese Dragon and some other freight cars. But as Freddy was going over the points, Billy came racing down the sorbet bit and crashed into the freight cars, knocking them off the line. Freddy thought Billy had done it on purpose. Meanwhile, at the docks, Bolster was getting ready to deliver some packages. He was heading into his little dock in the harbor. He had to be very careful so he could get in properly without bumping into anything. But at that moment, Charlie was shunting some troublesome trucks over the hill, but he was pushing them too hard and they fell off the tracks. They fell into the water and the waves rocked Bolster side to side. "Whoa!" cried Bolster. He lost control and crashed into the side of the dock. He nearly tipped over and the packages dumped into the sea. And the first three trucks were off the rails, and the first two were sunk. "Uh-oh," said Charlie. "Now I've done it." That night, Toothache had reprimanded both of them severely. "You two need to learn that there's time for fun and games and time for work, and work always comes first. And you should do your jobs without causing any trouble. Tomorrow, you two are going to take the Soda Cookie Factory cargo cars to the big station. They're going to be heavier than usual, because there's going to be a summer bake sale at the station. So you two are going to have to work together to get it delivered. Is that understood?" "Yes, sir," said the two engines. Billy and Charlie spent the night in the quarry, but the next morning, when they were ready to leave, Billy wasn't feeling very well. "Come on, Billy," said Charlie. "We need to go." "My tooth hurts," said Billy. Said Charlie. "Your tooth hurts? If I didn't know better, I'd say it hurts because you ran into Freddy's train yesterday." "Yes," said Billy, "that's probably the case." "Ugh, it really hurts. I don't think I can do anything until it gets better." "Oh, please," said Charlie. "You can't just be put out of service just because you have a toothache." But Billy wouldn't have it. "I'm not going to do anything until my tooth heals," he said. "Well, I don't know how long that's going to take," said Charlie. "But if you're not going to help me, then I might as well deliver the cookie cars myself." And Charlie puffed away. The cookie cars were waiting at Toby's windmill. Gator had already shunted the train. "Where's Billy?" asked Gator. He stayed at the quarry," said Charlie. "He's got a toothache, and he doesn't want to do anything until his tooth gets better. Stuff and nonsense, if you ask me." "Well, you best be careful," said Gator. "Rickety's being very troublesome today." "Oh, I'll be as careful as I can," said Charlie, and he puffed away with the cookie cars. Charlie was doing his best, but without Billy's help, the train was very hard to pull. Charlie went past the quarry on his way to the big station. And there was Billy, still sitting in the siding, waiting for his tooth to heal. Toothache was at the newly built Elsbridge Station with Lady Hat and Richard Hat. They were admiring the new building, and Toothache had even built a separate platform on the other side of the track. And he had also put in a pedestrian bridge so passengers could come to and from the stations and then go across and go over the tracks. "You've really outdone yourself, Father," said Richard. "Why, thank you," said Toothache. Meanwhile, Charlie was going through the quarry mine tunnel. It was very difficult since he had to go through the opposite way. But then there was trouble. The cars went through the tunnel, but the brake van was left behind. The door had uncoupled the coupling between the brake van and the sugar car, and the brake van was now left outside the quarry mine tunnel. Sir Topham Hatt, Richard Hatt, and Lady Hatt watched as Charlie puffed through Elsbridge Station on its own, with no Billy and no brake van. "Where's the brake van for Charlie's train?" said Richard. "And where's Billy?" asked Lady Hatt. "I don't know," said Charlie, "but I know that Charlie's gonna get into trouble, or if he doesn't get any help from Billy or the brake van." And Sir Topham Hatt was right. Charlie was coming up the Sorbet Bridge when Rickety began to hold back. The coupling snapped and the trucks rolled back down to the bottom. "Bother," said Charlie. I'll show you." And he raced down the hill and bumped the trucks hard. But he bumped the trucks so hard that they ran backwards down the line. "Oh no," said Charlie, "come back here." And he raced after the trucks. The Hatt family watched from on the pedestrian bridge as the cookie cars raced under the bridge, with Charlie giving chase. The cookie cars came bursting out the quarry mine tunnel and collided into the brake van. The brake van was knocked off the track due to the collision, and the cookie cars raced down the main line. Luckily, the guard had gotten out of the brake van before the accident. Charlie was struggling to keep up, but he accidentally went down the wrong track. The seamen switched the trucks onto the quarry siding, but now they were heading straight for Billy. With nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, Billy shut his eyes. Charlie arrived as fast as he could. "Billy," he said, "are you alright?" I think so," said Billy. "That was quite a crash," said Charlie. "I could see it all the way from over there." "Well, I'm fine," said Billy. "But, could you get some help?" "Okay," said Charlie, and he puffed away. Soon the mess was nearly cleaned up. Billy and Rickety were put on a flatbed, and Sir Topham Hatt, Richard Hatt, and Lady Hatt arrived to inspect the damage. "Well, Billy," said Sir Topham Hatt, "I can't see that I'm pleased that you weren't helping Charlie. But why weren't you helping him?" "He had a toothache," said Charlie, "and he didn't want to do anything until his tooth got better." "I'm sorry, sir," said Billy. "I really am." "Well, you should be," said Topham Hatt. "Say, Billy, I think one of your teeth is missing." "Really?" said Billy. Charlie looked back down the line, and he could barely notice something on the track. It was Billy's tooth. "I think when the trucks hit you, they must have knocked out your injured tooth," said Charlie. "Wow," said Billy, "that's quite surprising. Well, at least I no longer have to suffer from a toothache. I'm sorry once again, sir." "That's alright," said Topham Hatt, "but next time you have a toothache, don't let that get in the way of your work." "Oh, I won't let it," said Billy. And with that, Charlie took Billy away to get repaired. A couple days later, Billy returned from the works. He had changed a little while he was there, but not much. He still acts very silly, but everyone knows that's simply in his nature. He's a wise wrench and all the same, and knows it's silly to skip work just because of a toothache.